All right, last video for today. We're going to look at example 7 and finish with how to read a function using a table. So example 7, we learned in the last video how to answer these questions. What's f of negative 3 given a graph? Well, when x is negative 3, y is 0. When x is negative 3, it's on the x-axis at a height of 0. What's f of 0? Well, when x is, here's negative 2, here's negative 1, here's 0. When x is 0, y is way down here at negative 9. F of 0 is negative 9. When you plug in a 0 for x, you get out a negative 9 for y. What's f of 6? F of 6 is when x is 6, y is what? Well, when x is 6, y is 1, 2, 3 at a height of 4. Pretty straightforward stuff, I hope. What's f of 2? F of 2 is when x is 2, y is what? Okay, let's... well, when x is 2, so that's here, 2, y is, well, this is kind of a tricky one, and hopefully you remember the answer here, but it looks like there's two possibilities at first glance, right? Looks like there's two possibilities. When x is 2, y could be here at negative 2, or maybe it's down here at negative 5. Which of these counts? And I hope you remember that the open circle here is not included in the value of that function. It's actually the closed circle that represents the function value at that point. So in this case, when x is 2, y is negative 2. Remember, for it to be a function, there can only be one answer to that question. If both of these were filled in, which they're not, but if they were, this would fail the vertical line test and would not be a function. So that's why this had to be an open circle, and it was. Okay, so we have this. Finally, how do you find these values using a table? And this is the easiest of them all. We have, I mean, it's written right here. What's f of negative 3? This is saying when x is negative 3, y is what? And the table is very clear. When x is negative 3, y is 5. Easy. What's f of 0? Oh, when x is 0, y is negative 4. And what's f of 2? Well, when x is 2, y is 0. Okay. Example 9, last example. For what values of x is f of x 0? So the person who's going very quickly will say, oh, when x is 0, y is negative 4, and try and walk away. But that is not what the question is asking. It's saying, for what values of x, so which of these numbers is f of x 0? So basically, what number do you need to plug in for x in order to get a final answer of 0? And it looks like there are two numbers that you could plug in for x and get a final answer of 0. If you plug in a 2, you'll spit out a 0. And if you plug in a negative 2, you'll spit out a 0. So f of x is equal to 0 when x is negative 2 and when x is positive 2. These are the only two numbers that we know in the table that when you plug them in for x, you get out a f of x or a y value of 0. Awesome. And that's function evaluations.